In our last episode, we saw how Laila and Sami used their imagination and creativity to bring the magical violet color back to the world. They proved that imagination is the strongest force that can restore colors to any place. And now, with all the colors returned, have they discovered the secret of their disappearance? Our little heroes were walking happily through the forest, enjoying the beauty of nature, when suddenly a dark shadow appeared, covering the light and blocking the colors. "Oh no," says Lila anxiously. The shadow grows larger and larger, taking the shape of an enormous hand that threatens to grab them. "Be careful," says Sami, determined to face the danger that threatens them. Suddenly, the gray shadow rises into the air and takes the form of a huge monster that roars menacingly. "Weep, weep," Pixel whimpers, hiding behind Sami and Laila. The monster advances towards them and opens its mouth as if to devour them. But instead of roaring again, it lets out a sound of sad whispers. "What is that sound?" Laila asks with a confused and somewhat frightened expression. As the monster approaches them, they notice that it's not made of darkness or shadows, but rather of countless pieces of gray fabric that seem to have lost their color. At that moment, Pixel lets out a surprised beep and says, "How can a shadow steal colors?" Suddenly, the monster stops in front of them and opens its mouth again, revealing a small, shriveled violet flower. "Is that a violet flower?" Sami asks incredulously. The monster nods sadly, indicating that it took the flower's color without thinking that it would disappear like that. Taking advantage of this distraction, Laila and Sami quickly pour a few drops of water on the monster's head, causing the gray fabric to become soft and fluffy. The monster looks at them gratefully and lays down, turning into a small, shiny, and smiling creature. The light spreads throughout the place and the rainbow returns in all its colors. Pixel flies around them with joy and says, "Weep, the rainbow is back, the real one, with all its colors." Then he asks curiously, "But why did the violet flower lose its color?" One of the first things the little hero notices is that the flower doesn't have roots. When asked why, the monster replied that it had plucked the flower from the ground because it reminded him of a purple star that had fallen from the sky. However, he didn't know that the flower needed water to survive and keep its color. "Do you want to help us fix the color of the violet flower?" Laila asks. The creature nods excitedly, and together they go to the river to get some water. The monster, who introduces himself as Sombra, is surprised by the cool touch of the water and says, "I never thought there were so many sensations hidden in such a tiny drop." When they return with the water, Pixel helps them sprinkle it on the flower, and to their delight, the flower immediately begins to glow with a beautiful violet color. Sombra is very happy to see that the flower has regained its color and offers to accompany Laila and Sami on their mission to save the rest of the rainbow colors. Overjoyed by this new alliance, they all head to the highest peak of the mountain, the place where the colors of the rainbow are fading away. Upon reaching the top, they find a beautiful waterfall, but it's losing its magnificent shades of red, orange, and yellow. Without hesitation, Sombra dives into the waterfall and uses his soft and fluffy body to absorb the fading colors. The moment he comes into contact with the water, the colors begin to flow through his body like a warm and comforting liquid, as Sombra absorbs more and more colors. His body becomes bigger and stronger, but at the same time, he feels strange and overwhelmed. Realizing what's happening, Laila and Sami quickly take some water from the waterfall and splash it on Sombra's head, calming him down and helping him regain control. Once Sombra is better, he happily takes the small violet flower and places it on the tip of the waterfall, making a wish that the flower's color will be strong enough to keep the waterfall and the surrounding nature colorful forever. As if by magic, the flower begins to glow brightly, spreading its light and color to every corner. The waterfall is once again a magnificent spectacle of colors, and the surrounding nature rejoices with life and light. Overjoyed, Sombra joins them, and together they celebrate with a big smile, knowing that the rainbow is safe. From that day on, Sombra became a friend of the little heroes, and together they had many more adventures full of color and excitement. And you can join them in the next episodes of our series. See you next time!